So I'm just going to go through everything that I have in this bag and tell you why I have it, and maybe it'll help you guys out in some way. The war in Israel with Hamas right now has got me thinking about a few things, as well as a lot of people. You know, you start to wonder, well, will there be any kind of blowback on regular citizens here in the US? And you're seeing some of this with some panic buying of certain items in the industry right now, ammunition being one of them. There's just things happening, and as they've done a number of times in our recent past history here. And it got me thinking about my car bag, my kind of everyday carry, grab it and go home. For example, I'm out around town and there's civil unrest, and somehow I get trapped in a traffic jam, and I decide that the best, safest option for me is just to get home. So I ditch my vehicle, I grab this bag with these contents, and I try to make it home. That's what we're covering today. I thought I'd do a little bit of a bag dump and just explain some of what it is and why I do it and those sorts of things. It's cold outside, so thought we'd do something inside today. So here we go. First thing I have here is the Mystery Ranch Mission Duffel. This duffel bag slash backpack runs about $200. It is Mystery Ranch after all. It's kind of a canvas, you know, heavy duty canvas, lots of pockets on the inside. The straps, the shoulder straps, can actually tuck down in a pocket here, and it can just be a standard kind of slim duffel bag for travel or whatever you might want. It's not overly tactical, which is what I like. It's actually got a completely flat back here, canvas back, so it looks very nondescript and not tactical, and that is absolutely what I want. And I just leave the backpack straps attached to it because that is how I'm going to want to carry it if I have to grab it out of my vehicle and start trying to make it home. And the whole point of this is to have everything that you might need to, you know, sustain yourself moving across all different types of terrain, however far you might have to do it within, let's say, 24 to 48 hours. For me personally, that is probably a lot less than 24 hours. Depending on what time of day I am out, it might take me through the night to get across my town here. I'm looking at roughly, you know, 12 to 15 miles is my normal roaming range around this place, maybe a max of 20 miles. And if I had nothing impeding me and I didn't have to hide and sneak and go slow, and there wasn't significant terrain that I had to bushwhack my way through, 20 miles would be, I don't know, whatever that would be, right? 4 hours, 5 hours, I'm not sure exactly. I haven't walked it. But what I know is that it's going to be slower than that, right? It might take me through the night. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhoods of 12 hours. So in that sense, you don't need a lot of stuff, right? Like, you had some water, or you knew of places that you could get water along your way, you wouldn't need much other than your everyday carry firearm or whatever it is for personal defense if you thought you might encounter threats. So I'm just going to go through everything that I have in this bag and tell you why I have it, and maybe it'll help you guys out in some way. So again, I open this bag and it is just one big duffel bag pouch opening, right? It's got some pockets off to the sides that I can put some things in, pockets on the flap here that I can put some things in. This pouch up here, I've got glasses, deodorant. I don't know why I have the deodorant in there, honestly, because it's my car bag and sometimes I forget. But I've got just some glasses, like contacts and stuff like that, so I can see. That seems like an important thing. I've got some over-the-counter meds in here, like ibuprofen and Rolaids and things like that that I might end up needing. I'll just leave that pouch there after talking about it. But let me show you what else we put in here. And I'm going to start with kind of my creature comfort item so we can get it out of the way. And that is night vision. So my thought is like, for the most part, I work from home during the day. I run my errands and I go out around town in the late afternoon to evening hours. And if I'm gonna, run into something and have to make it home, it's gonna be after dark. And I like the idea of being able to navigate my way through dark areas without having any kind of white light, red light, headlamp, or anything like that. So I've got night vision, and this is just a PVS 14 with a head-mounted strap that comes with it. This is from AGM, and you know, it's a good quality unit. You guys are probably all familiar with these. AGM, PVS 14, lots of different companies make them. White Foss, you know, High Foam, good specs on this tube. And it basically just connects to the front of this headpiece via this mount. And I can just clip it in right here like this. And I can slide that where I need it to be. And that rides on my head. And then I can navigate. This is lightweight, it's small, but it gives me that nighttime advantage. And obviously, if if I have this and you don't in the nighttime and we're in a gunfight, I am most likely going to have a serious advantage. So, to my mind, this is worth the extra pound of weight. That's my creature comfort item. We'll get that one out of the way. That goes in the bottom of the bag. Okay, and then I am going to go over map and compass. This goes without saying, it should be obvious, but don't just carry a compass. That doesn't do you a ton of good in and of itself other than cardinal directions, which maybe is good if you know certain areas, like if you know what part of town you're in and you know that there's a major river due west of you and you're just going to go west and hit the river and then you're going to go south or whatever it is, maybe just a compass would be fine. I highly suggest having a good topographical map of your area and a compass along with it. So I've got those things in here. I've got a UTM grid protractor in here as well. I'm not going to go into all that. If you're not really sure what that is, you can Google it, and it's just a way of plotting points and navigating. And I've got some ranger beads or beads here that are for pace counting beads is really what they're called, but I think guys have called them ranger beads. Basically, for every 100 paces or whatever of my paces, I move a bead and it helps me track the distance that I've traveled and so forth. So those are also in the bag at all points. I do have, this is the Vortex Solo RT monocular. This is an 8x36 monocular and just gives me a way to look ahead into the distance in an area that I might be having to move across, or I'm just trying to, trying to figure out how many bad guys are up there that am I gonna try to get around them? What am I gonna do? I need to see that stuff. So I carry this because it's small, it's lightweight. It also gives me a reticle in there that I can measure things with and whatnot. So that guy stays in the pack as well. Seems like a really good option, something to have that I think is a good idea. Maybe trivial to some, but not to me. I have toilet paper and a trowel here. I don't like being caught with my pants down, so to speak, and not having this stuff. It just goes without saying, if you're going to be out for any significant amount of time, you might have to go to the bathroom. And I don't like the idea of wiping my butt with leaves or pine cones or whatever anybody else suggests. I want to have toilet paper. And I don't want to leave any evidence that I was there, and so I might bury it using the trowel. So that also goes in the bag. All right, let's move over to here. So here I've got a small, this is from Snug Pack. It is called the Stasha or Stashag 2 or Stasha G2, I guess it is. Stasha G2. I didn't even know the name of my tarp. But this is from Snug Pack, and I like their products. They're all lightweight, very small, and very durable kind of survival type items. This runs about 75 bucks, and it is a waterproof but breathable multi-purpose tarp. And so if you figure you just need a quick shelter or something you're going to take just a rest for a couple of hours, again, you're moving across town in a hurry, you need to just go home. Maybe you have to kind of escape and evade and stay overnight, and maybe there's weather and you don't want to get rained on, or you're just trying to stay dry, obviously those sorts of things. You could run some paracord between two trees and create a ridge line. You drape this over the top and you've got a little, A-frame pup tent kind of a design. It also has snaps along the sides. And I'm not going to take it all out of the bag for you guys, but it's got snaps along the sides so that you can create a bivy sack with it. And a bivy sack is just basically like your sleeping bag. You just crawl down inside of it, tuck it in around your head, tuck it in around your feet. It's going to keep the moisture off you to some degree. It's going to help you stay a little bit warmer. It is OD green, so maybe it'll be a little more camouflaged in the woods. I've got that guy. I've got a face mask, black balaclava type face mask, some gloves, mechanics wear gloves. If you're moving through the woods, you're gonna be grabbing onto thorns, thistles, whatever, poisonous weeds of any kind potentially. Wear a good pair of gloves. I've got a shmog in here that I use just maybe to cover my head or my face. It also is dual purpose for medical reasons, which I just realized I left my med kit downstairs, but I have a medical kit downstairs that's got tourniquet and gauze and quick clot and basic boo-boo kit. Not only can I cover my head, my face with this, use it for a little bit of warmth around my head, my neck. I could use it as a sling for a broken arm or something like that. Various uses, so that stays with that. And a boonie hat, multicam. It's not just to cover your head, right? It does have some webbing sewn in around the sides. I can add natural veg to that, and as I'm moving through an area, just you know, keep updating that perhaps with the areas that I'm going to be hunkered down in or moving through. Just helps me stay a little bit more camouflaged as I'm moving through an area, right? Because my luck, I'm probably going to have some, you know, tan khakis on and a bright blue shirt or something like that, and I'm going to have to roll around in the mud and get dirty. Well, I also want to have some sort of camouflage if I can, and so for me that comes down to a boonie hat that I can tie on some natural vegetation and things either through these straps or with paracord or something like that. So I've got another piece of camouflage that I'll show you kind of towards the end here, how to camouflage the backpack and the back of you as you're hiking, but those things also stay in the pack. All right, let's go through this bag next. And this ditty bag here, so I'm a big proponent of taking care of your feet anytime you're out and about, whether you have to cross a stream and you get a pair of socks wet or something like that, or your feet get wet in the rain. I want to have a good pair of wool backup hiking type socks, so that's in there. I've got one freeze-dried meal, again, quick, within 24 hours. You don't even really need to eat, right? But if you don't eat and you're exerting a lot of effort, pretty soon you start getting tired. And so I've got one freeze-dried meal in there that I can eat, and along with that, I've got a small pot. You can see it's just this size, and inside of there is the fuel canister. It uses the fuel canisters, the tiny ones, and this is the Crux Micro Stove. It just hooks onto the top. It just hooks onto the top of those fuel canisters, and I can use the pot to boil water for the freeze-dried meal. Or if I run out of water and I'm out there long enough and I need to purify water, for example, I could boil it or something like that, although I've got another option for that I will show you here in a second, but that all lives in that pouch as well, but I'll set it aside for now. I've got just a little battery-powered light lantern type thing, which is probably going to come out of there because it's a white light and I won't need it. I've got a red light headlamp, micro, somewhere around here that I would probably use if I needed light at all. I've also got the night vision to see. This is just added weight, and it's a white light that could give away my position, so that will probably be coming out. I'll go ahead and just set it aside. I have, and don't laugh at me, but I've got flex cuffs in here. Okay, when you're done laughing, I've got flex cuffs in here and also a set of handcuffs. Now, I was in law enforcement back in the day. You can sometimes see the badge here on the wall behind me. I'm a fan of different types of restraints. For example, if I am able to, or if I have to sneak up on somebody and maybe knock them out as quietly as possible, and I don't want them to easily be able to get up and come after me or something like that, I might restrain somebody or something like that. So those are in there. I've got a pair of gloves in here as well. I've got some of these kind of baby wipe, cleaning wipe things, because I don't want to get all nasty. Plus I might need to, wash my hands, or it's just nice to, wipe your neck or something. I don't know. It's in there, guys. I know that some of this stuff has been thought out and some of it hasn't, right? Light stick, and again, light pollution. But my thought with a light stick is that I could use it as a distraction device. I could crack it if I'm moving through an area and I know I'm being tracked by some people. I could crack it and put it in the crook of a tree or something off in one direction and then move quickly off in another direction. And they would slow, and it would maybe buy me a little bit of time. That, or it would make them come out into an open area to check out, what is that light source over there? Is that our guy? Let's go over there and check it out. And that gives me an opening to do something that I might want to do to them, or a distraction to get away, or whatever it might be. So I like light sticks for that reason. I've got some paracord in here. I've got some smaller zip ties that I might use for my shelter or something like that. I do have my food spoon in there, a little ultralight like titanium spoon that I can put in there. So that stuff all stays in this ditty bag here. And let me see, I've also got, so the water purification issue, this is my answer to that. I do have just a bottle of water that I leave in here. This is probably gonna, this is probably going to get used rather quickly, but I'm all about multi-use on things, and a bottle like this I could probably find just laying around on the ground or something, but I'm gonna drink it. And then what I can do is I can actually make a minnow trap, fish trap, out of this by cutting the top off once it's empty, turning this thing around and putting it inside of itself. You put it in a stream with a rock or something on top of it if you're out this long. And what you find is that small fish will swim into the bottle and not be able to swim back out. And if I needed that for food, for a survival situation, so I know maybe it seems crazy, but that is one option, and I like it as an option, and so that's in there. But this is my main thing, is this Katadyn micro water bottle. It has a filter inside of it, so I can just, hopefully in a moving part of the stream, maybe where it's tumbling over rocks or something, I can fill up this bottle, put the top on, and then just open it up, and as you suck it through the straw, it cleans it with the filter that is on the inside. So it's got, something in there that is good for, Cryptosporidium, Giardia, and stuff like that. So that lives in here too, in case I need it for water purification. So there's that. This one, oh, this is my med kit. I'm sorry, I do have it here. So this has got tourniquet, and we've got rubber gloves, and chest seals, and gauze pads, and quick clot in here. So basically your gunshot blowout kit. I do have a few little band-aids and things for like boo-boo type stuff, so that lives in there as well. This little kit has got things like extra batteries. I've got a little chargeable battery pack in here, like for my cell phone. I've got fire starter, I've got fishing, I've got, like I say, some battery pack stuff. I've got this little fan thing that hooks with USB up to this, and the fan is not so that I can feel more comfortable. It's to help me get fires going. You plug this little USB fan in and hold it right on the fire. It really stokes up a fire well. This is, I've got some cash in here in case I need to maybe bribe my way out of something or barter something. I do have a deck of cards in here because this bag lives in my car all the time, and I'm with my family a lot. And if we get stranded in the car maybe, or something like that, it's just good morale booster items. We can play a card game or whatever we might need. Yeah, so that's what's in that bag. There's some hearing protection in there too, but that stays in as well. So I've got cell phone, and I've got the Garmin inReach Mini 2, and this is a new item for me. But my thought is, if cell service goes down, like for example, in a situation like where terrorists invaded Israel recently, and communications and power and water and things start getting shut off, you never know what might happen. The world's getting crazier and crazier, guys. And my thought is, our cell phones may not work. And if they don't work, and I still need to be able to communicate with my family, a GPS kind of Garmin inReach like this that uses satellite communications, like you can send text messages from this type of a device to another type of a device, or from this device to a phone. Somebody's still got their cell service. But the whole point is just to be able to communicate in some way somewhat covertly. I'm sure these messages would be interceptable. I don't know the tech behind that. My point is I want to be able to get a message across to my family to say, hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to be home this sort of time, whatever. And I can communicate that way if cell phones go down. So Garmin is in there from now on as part of that kit. All right. Now, the part that you guys probably want to see most, since we're a gun channel and you're a gun community, I like the Keltech Sub 2K. Now hear me out about this. I know I could use some sort of an AR or something with a folding stock, or maybe that fold AR, or something that's a takedown type of a rifle, or something like that. But I'm not looking to get into a long drawn out gunfight, guys. I'm looking for something for self-defense. It needs to fit in this bag. It needs to be pretty lightweight. I need to be able to hit targets, let's say out to 150, 100 yards, something like that. At the end of the day, the laws may or may not still matter, but I'm thinking ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. Does that person or those people, do they pose a threat? Do they have the ability to hurt me? Do they have the opportunity to hurt me? And am I actually in jeopardy? And how do I defend myself in court? So I'm thinking not an AR-15, because that's the big black evil looking gun right now, right? So in the court of popular opinion, using an AR-15 for personal defense is not a very wise choice. It is in terms of winning the fight. I get that. I'm with you guys. I'm still using a gun. I'm just choosing this guy because it's small, it's compact, it's quick and easy to deploy. I don't have any trouble getting 9mm rounds on target at 100 yards all the time. Like, no issues, and quickly. Actually, with my night vision, I have a weapon mounted mount for that night vision. I can co-witness between my front and rear sight through my PVS-14 mounted to this front rail. And I could use that if I needed to. I've just got paracord for a sling because I'm just looking to take some of that weight off my arms or whatever, be able to retain the weapon. This is my choice, like it or not. And also, it lives in my car all the time. And my thought is, if my car gets broken into and people steal everything, I'm only out a couple $100 and a gun that I don't really care about all that much. So anyway, take it or leave it. That is my weapon of choice. And I've got 3 30-round mags of 9mm that live inside of the bag in this side pocket. And this all fits nicely right in there. Let me zip this up and I'll show you how I'm going to camouflage this pack and us as people as we're moving through the woods. So there's the pack, and this whole thing probably weighs 20 pounds, guys. It's not all that heavy, so it's not that bad. So I'm gonna set this aside. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do to camouflage this bag if we're trying to move through an area. All right, so some years ago, I took a tactical tracking course from a guy named John Hurth, who is ex-Army Special Forces. He runs Tier Group, and I took a week-long tracking course, man tracking course from him. And one of the things that he highly recommended and showed us during that course is to take some camouflage netting like this. You guys have all seen this before. And basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep it in our bag, in our pack. We're gonna use some paracord and we're gonna thread it in and out of these loops all the way around this piece of netting. And then I'll be able to put that over the top of my bag and then just tie it off to where it stays nice and tight on the backpack. And it'll provide some level of camouflage for this big flat surface. I'll also be able to stick some natural vegetation, trees and things down into this as it's attached to the pack. And it'll provide us a level of camouflage that we didn't have prior to this. So let me just do that quickly. I'll show you the end result. I'll probably just quickly speed up the camera for you guys, but here we go. So stopping here in the middle, guys, just to say that I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom of this. I'm actually going to leave some of this that's going to tail off behind and hang down probably my mid thigh level. So I'm cutting this across and leaving probably 16 inches or so hanging down below, just so you're aware of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. All right, so we're going to bring this over here and we're going to lay it over the top of our pack, making sure that the paracord is kind of down around the bottom here and around the sides and around the top. And then I'm just going to pull this and cinch it down, guys, is all I'm going to do. And I'm going to tie it off. So literally just going to do a kind of overhand butterfly shoe type knot, whatever you want to call it. Snug it down. Tie it off however you see fit. I'm going to trim these ends. But now we've got a camouflage pack that I can then run some natural vegetation, grasses or whatever through this. And when I'm wearing it, let me go ahead and just throw it on and I'll turn around for you guys. All right, and then I've got some hanging down here that I can, you know, a little better camouflage. That's it. That's my car bag, guys. That's my get home bag. That's 24 hours or less, everything I might need, and then some. I realize it's kind of then some. But I am going to be trying to move quickly, and I suggest you do as well. Minimal. So try to make it as light as possible. If you can get it down in that, 10 to 15 pound range, that would be ideal. I could get it down there pretty quickly if I cut out some of the overnight camping gear. Right? If I didn't want to cook a full meal, I could get rid of the stove and the little propane tank and the pot and the utensil and all that, and just throw some sort of high calorie protein bar or something in there, or even a couple of them, and that would cut a significant amount of weight. Right? I could get rid of the standard water bottle, and that would cut a little bit of weight. There's a lot of ways that I could cut weight, and I didn't choose the lightest pack either. This is my car bag. It lives in my car. I use it for all kinds of stuff, but it's also my get home bag in an emergency. Leave me some comments down below, guys, with what you think about everyday carry get home bags. What would you add, or what would you leave out, or you think I'm an idiot? Please check the link in the description to all of our sponsors. Some great affiliate deals going on right now, guys. And stay tuned for more great videos from